Hi and welcome to this new timeless reading. Let's take a look at what frequency is now currently activating in the field. And it's going to be in three cards. The first one is the details, the second one is what can be released, and the third one is advice. So let's see what we're working with. And I'm getting the Hermit. So it's actually more like it's a frequency in the sense that it's a message, more than just an activation. What I'm getting is if you feel like everything is taking way much longer than it should, that you're being delayed, blocked, and all those things, your intuition is completely right. It's taking way, way longer than it should. And there's this saying at times where people will feel uncomfortable in their circumstances and be like, oh, you're exactly where you're meant to be at all times or something. And it's like, really? I don't think so. But sometimes you have to tell yourself something to not overreact against your circumstances and then feed the darkness. So there's a purpose in saying that, but is it the whole truth? I really don't think so at all. And yes, sometimes you're being blocked and delayed, and there's a lot going on because in a strange way, and it's a bit exasperating, honestly, but yeah, like, I mean, we don't know some parts of our future for the most part, actually, but for some reason, in different planes, other forces know who you're going to be, what you're going to do, and the impact and influence you're going to have. So this is the upside of being blocked and delayed and all those things. It's because you're an actual force to be reckoned with, and everything is being put in a place to slow you the heck down as much as it is possible for those forces to do so. And it's a very important message to share, I think, because we need to discuss those things and talk about these things a lot more, because we're not just like happy zoo animals that, you know, go around in circles in one spot and call it a day and I'm in the right place, when you really crave freedom and the plains and the jungle or whatever else it is, like in the animal metaphor here. But as a human, like you want to maybe travel to some places and it's absolutely not happening like coherently. You want to change cities and you feel like nothing's falling into place. You want to change your job and nothing's working out. What I call it is an energetic bind. You're kind of like frequency locked at times. And I'd say like a big like majority of the time it is for your own safety to some extent, for sure. And two things can be true at once. Like, there are forces that are pushing back against your incarnation and your capacity to just exist in a way that changes things. But there is also what I would call a divine containment, where your guides or whatever is looking over you wants to make sure. And whatever is looking over you, I'm not talking about if you have covenant in witchcraft or demons and things like that. Like, it could be the case, but that's not the vibe I'm going with here. It's more like divinely speaking, like your ancestors, if you have angelic forces, and your higher self, your highest timeline type of frequencies will sometimes hold you back, because they know even if the door seems to be open, it's kind of a trap also. So it's kind of like, a way also to be neutral about it. When you know both sides of a circumstance and you don't have to react and feed anything with your emotional energy, you're just like, well, I guess it is what it is for now. And now we'll see what is the element we can release to get the energy moving again, and I'm getting the Five of Swords, and it's a psychic interference, and it's this card, usually the Five of Swords, represents, I'd say, like more of like astral psychic interference and attacks, and it's blockages that are not of your doing at all. So it's not necessarily something to release, but more something to be aware of. And in the awareness of this going on, a lot of it actually does loses its grip. So we actually are releasing some of that grip when we know that's what's going on. That's why I see a lot of other people who share messages, and I'm like, wow, the denial is strong. The avoiding of the dark-ish that's going against people is, you know, not spoken about or flowered, or just, you know, I could go so much deeper into this, but for today's message, I think that's sufficient. But yeah, and it's pretty much this card, what I'm seeing, it's almost like as soon as you know what the interference comes from, it actually eases your mind back into safety in a sense. And that's why when you feel blocked, the dark forces, dark energies want you to feel trapped, because then you generate a lot of fuel for them by feeling negative, depressed, and like, you know, kicking your cage pretty much. So as soon as you stop doing that, they'll try to kind of reactivate you into doing it. But then if you're smart enough and you're like, well, I'm getting poked by this stupid energy that wants me to react, so what if I don't react? And also, it's very good to master yourself, and that's why I would encourage stoicism. Strongly encourage stoicism as a practice for sure, because then your emotional energy is invested where it counts, and you don't give it away into two circumstances that will actually keep the wheel spinning and keep you trapped longer. And now, what is the advice? And it's the Nine of Wands. And usually for me, this card represents the matrix, being stuck in the matrix. So the advice is to see that some aspects of you clearly, like us, like all of us pretty much, are still, like, to some extent or another, stuck in the matrix. And it's okay to just understand that's what's going on, and that's why the blockages happen, and that's why the dark forces are on your butt, because they want something from you, because we're still in that construct for, you know, the time being, as we keep strengthening and rising above those limiting circumstances. And I will finish this message by once again encouraging stoicism, and the more you retract your emotional reactions and understand both sides of most circumstances, you'll be so balanced that you can walk in between worlds, in the sense that you're not fully engaged in the matrix type of functioning, and you also give yourself more maneuver to go to a higher timeline, into a more 5D type of space, if you will. So that's it for now, and I hope it resonated. Let me know.